Here's a fun fact. When you hang out with females a lot, you end up in Target and CVS with these coupons. And so like I was like, "Oh, I'm going to make my hair blue." So that's what we're doing right now. But I could see that it's blue like on my skin, but like it said natural blue. So like I have a feeling that natural blue is not the blue that I want. So yeah, but we'll see how that goes. Oh, and I also don't really know how to dye my hair, so that's level 1. So I guess we'll find out how that goes. Anyway, so this video is about how explaining like gender identity to tiny humans. And now I've never had this experience before, and over the holiday here I had like, we'll call them tiny humans running around Thanksgiving, because that way they stay anonymous. And literally, I know I've known these kids, like I've seen them maybe 3 or 4 times in their lives, and they range from like, I don't fucking know, like tiny baby who can't talk to bigger baby who's like 6. So one of the first things that there's a 6 and a 5-year-old, they asked me was like, "Hi, like come play like princess and you're gonna sleep over." And then they asked me right after that like if I was a boy or a girl, and I was like, what? So I'm very open with explaining like gender identity versus like what attraction is, and I can do that with adults. It's not that difficult. Whether an adult agrees with you or not is their own fucking problem and none of my goddamn business. But if you're gonna ask, I'll explain it to you. And so obviously like how you identify is different than who you're attracted to. And so for me, somebody who first of all doesn't take hormones, it's like I have to like fall into this like gender queer area, because like I'm not cool enough to fit with the transgendered folks, and lesbians don't like me. And I mean, I've made past videos on this, but I could get into how I feel, you know, male on the inside, and then I can get into who I'm attracted to separately. But for me to get into that with kids and kids in general who don't understand those concepts, it's a very black and white like life for them. It's like, boys are this, girls are this, the end. And who's to say that I'm not the one to say that's how it should or shouldn't be? So all of a sudden, 100 billion things trigger through my head. One, like, shit, like what would the parents want them to know? What would the parents want them to not know? I know their parents fairly well in this story, we'll say, to where I know that if I were to sit and explain it to their tiny humans, they'd probably be chill with it, except for the fact that the kids wouldn't understand it, so why am I even gonna fucking bother? But it got me thinking about other people's kids, and, you know, how am I gonna go about that? Especially with all of my friends having babies now, and the babies are just young enough to, like, you know, start having personalities and, like, observing a lot and using their mouth a lot. So it was cool when they were like tiny lumps of potatoes and didn't fucking say shit, and now they have to say things and ask questions, and that's how it should be, and they should get straight up answers. But this was the first time I ever got in that situation, so I was like, well, today I today I kind of feel like a boy, but you know, I'm not really like tomorrow I could feel like a girl. I mean, I'm not really sure, like, who's that on your blanket? Because they had like this princess blanket thing. And so I asked them like another question to kind of like detract that, but then they started saying things like, you know, because I had a backwards hat on, so it's okay if girls wear hats forward in their life. If girls wear hats forward, but boys wear hats backwards. And then I had like a watch and a bracelet on, but like boys don't wear bracelets, girls do wear bracelets. And then I had my ears pierced, and girls have ear piercings, but boys don't. So they had all these rules in their own head of what it means to be a boy, what it means to be a girl, and I was just confusing the fuck out of them to the point where like I was like, I'm gonna like go upstairs and talk to adults. Bye, thanks. It was great seeing you. And it was funny because like the older one, the 6-year-old, actually referred to me with he and him pronouns every time I saw her again, like he this, and it was funny because like no one around like picked up on it because no one was fucking paying attention, and also no one probably fucking cares at my family's house, and if they do, well, okay. So I found that to be interesting because I didn't mind because pronouns don't bother me. The little girl didn't mind because she doesn't fucking care. But I was all of a sudden triggered with like, what are people around her gonna think? Are they gonna correct her? Should they correct her? What is she gonna think when they do correct her? Like, you confuse a kid, and it just got me thinking about all this other shit. Like, holy shit, how am I supposed to like deal with like tiny humans in the future? But not just like any tiny humans, like my best friend's children, or like how do they go? If I can't articulate how I am in a sentence, which is why labels, again, even though we hate them, are somewhat kind of important. How am I gonna navigate this in the future? So it's actually something I haven't really decided in a world where it's black and white for kids. And I don't really know how I'm going to go about it in the future. And usually with adults and like significant others that I'm introduced to, like via my friends, you know, it always comes down to like, well, oh, so do you like guys or girls? Because a lot of people like don't see the difference in sex and gender. And so, in gender identity and attraction, that is. And so it's very easy for me to stop and be like, oh, okay, well, this is how I think, but this is who I'm attracted to. But sometimes that changes when I drink. So it's funny, it's easier with adults. I don't really know what's gonna happen in the future, but it's something that like now I need to like be cognizant of, and it's interesting. So yeah, happy thanks fucking giving is how I feel about that one. Yeah, we'll see how my hair gets blue, because it probably won't. I feel like it's like too black to be blue, but whatever. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I had about 2 ounces of turkey and some green beans and like a spoon of cranberry sauce and a spoon of stuffing. Why, you ask? I don't know. I wasn't that hungry. Now I'm sad because I'm actually hungry. And that's all I gotta say. Happy raising children. Because you're gonna have a boatload of people like me who come into their lives and they're like, WTF, mommy and daddy, or WTF, mommy and mommy, or WTF, mommy that was a daddy and that's a daddy now. I don't fucking know, but you're gonna come across these situations and you should like prep them. Can you like prep them? That'd be great. And that's all I gotta say. We're done.